off like this. But good thing that we don't
Why
have
did
no
you start
viewers.
that?
See,
I
but no, we don't
know.
got no viewers. We just wait for the people to get in, so they ain't never
Oh,
heard us say
okay,
nothing.
okay. So this don't
They just
count.
get this on the pre-record. Like, wait a
Just don't
second.
really count.
Wait a second, man. Shout out to y'all though, as the people fill in. This is episode number 16, man. Moving up in the world. Got my nearest
16?
and dearest,
16.
nearest and dearest Jeff Elijah, Sacred Serpent, Prime Harmonic, as we bring you another episode of Chakra Nova. We got questions and we got answers. And I like to say, if anybody is here before we get on, if you want to join the live, if you feel like your perspective must be heard, Sacred, what's your IG so they can send you a message?
Sacred Serpent 823, exactly how it sounds, all lowercase. Sacred Serpent 823.
So I'm gonna say that throughout the live. So if you want to join the conversation, you got to DM Sacred Serpent. Sacred, check your message requests because you might have some stragglers and wagglers and tagglers and things of that nature. Shout out to the family. Shout out to everybody, man. We got a wonderful show, man. But before we get into the show, before we get into these questions, let me get rid of this. Y'all is cheating. No cheating. Cheaters, no swipe backs. How y'all doing? What's y'all week been like? Go ahead. What was the order that we go through? Is Jeff Prime?
It
don't matter.
It don't count.
I'll flip a quarter and go ahead. Y'all introduce yourselves.
It's probably a two-headed quarter. Anyway,
How y'all? Yeah, it's definitely a rigged quarter. don't ever think that I'm gonna play fair with you. I'm cheating the whole time. Any game we play, I'm rigging that shit. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, use your imagination.
It is what I say it is. No, go ahead.
You hear me fine?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah. Jeff Elijah. Yeah, week was well. It's Thursday, went by fast. Doing how I always do it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep pushing and moving. Keep learning, grounding, all that stuff. Been a good week. But yeah, check me out. I'm on Instagram at g.elijah144, as well as the business account Elijah Green 144. Check me out. I got apparel, cannabis delivery service around town. And, I haven't. Yeah, just keep looking out.
Can't wait till I retire. Dang it, I can't wait till I retire. Peace. Prime Harmonic. I'm on Instagram as prime.harmonic. Everything is good. I keep diving deeper into self every day, and the amazing thing is there's more to dive because it don't stop, right? Life don't stop, so your soul is ever growing. And I'm just trying to, learn to swim. Oh, yeah, all that. Anyway, yeah, I'm ready. Right? Flashlight.
In the disco.
I know, man. I can't help it, man. That funk, man. When that funk hits you, you got to let it go.
You was on George Clinton today. That was in your. Yep, I know you had George Clinton in there. Sacred Serpent. It was a beautiful week. Really looking forward to this conversation. Outside of being a person that identifies with getting a Rihanna, I think we live in a wonderful time right now. And for those that don't know, I'm not going to say the name, but I identify with somebody that got the Rihanna. Okay. Outside of that, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having us again. Thank you for joining us again. And let's be violent.
So yeah, man, today I'm here for all types of shits and giggles. I want y'all to enjoy yourselves. Want y'all to laugh. I want y'all to ask questions. I want y'all to engage. I'm gonna be on the chat. I'm gonna be listening to people. If y'all got a problem with what somebody else is saying, say it with your chest. You know what I mean? But no, for real, Chakra Nova is in stores. Well, not in stores. It's in my online store.
Right.
But yes, self-published work. Just got physical copies. I never have physical copies, so I'm just like showing off the physical right here. You feel me? And also,
are you doing the show on the highway? Are you on the highway?
I'm on Jefferson. I'm on Jefferson. I'm in the D, baby. You understand? I'm in the D. In front of the Transcendent Stargate. Is one of my favorite landmarks. I told y'all this is the spot that I stomped 3 times and I caused an earthquake in California, but I digress.
So that's a monumental spot.
Yeah, I felt compelled. I can get into a whole conversation about the Stargate. Maybe I will. I'm thinking of doing a live lecture in reference for the ancestors of Detroit, because boy, oh boy, I got stories on top of stories. But I digress, man. Chakra Nova. Shadow Work Journal. I do got physical copies ready to send out right now, and I say that because that'll never be happening for people. They be having to wait and shit. So get them now while you can get them, so you don't have to wait, or else you be like 2 weeks ago, like, hey, I'm trying to get the book, and I'd be like, well, hold on a second. Now you mad at me? Don't be mad at me. Get the book today. ColumbianExchange.com. All types of
shout out to ColumbianExchange.com, because I got that new Purple Rain, baby.
That's that Purple Rain Prince edition.
I got that new Purple
That's
Rain.
the Cash 2.0. That's actually freehand drawn by myself. That's people don't know
That's
that.
why I feel so special.
That's the Cash 2.0. That's not like the other versions of Cash, but yeah, man, I feel inspired and led to continue to be inspired and led and have spiritual conversations with spiritual people. So if that is you, please reach out to Sacred Serpent 823 on Instagram right now if you want to add to the conversation. But instead of, we usually have a pregame and we just kind of come up with questions, but today we each had a subject that we brought forward and we formulated questions. So the first question is from our OG of the group, Prime Harmonic, and to provide context to this question, we all like to blame people for shit. I personally have a personal vendetta with blaming the white person for all of my problems. Personally, I like doing that. It actually feels good when I get into start blaming colonialism and things of that nature for all of my ills. It's because of colonialism why Keisha won't give me no booty. It's colonial.
I like to blame the dinosaurs.
No, it was colonialism while I'm fat. Why I'm fat. They fought that why I didn't go to the gym and work out. I blame colonialism for everything. No, but why or how do you as men take responsibility for your lives over being like me, blaming the white man for everything? And whoever wants to take this question, go ahead and take it. But I want to hear y'all personal ways of y'all taking responsibility for your life, so the people listening who, like me, like to blame the white people for everything, could do something different.
Well, Sacred Serpent, I spent a lot of time in jail. And before I went to jail, close to 7 years, state, county, federal, whatever. Before I went to jail, everybody was to blame. I was mad at the world. I was mad at family. I was mad at so-called friends. I was mad at the environment. I was mad at the white man I never met. I was mad at everybody. And then the time in jail forced me to refocus, or it forced me to just really have a sit down with myself, because I really wasn't going nowhere, 3 hots and cotton and everything. But I just remember not having anybody to talk to, not having anybody to write, not having anybody to call, not having anybody to come and visit, because I was out of town in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't in the state that I was from, in jail. You know what I'm saying? I went out of town to do my street pharmacy thing, and yeah. So the majority of the times, 99.999% of the time, whenever I blamed somebody else, it always came right back around to me, and I still had to make the decision. And so I could say wholeheartedly that blame never works. And unless you are taking accountability for the situation and the activities that you have
never though.
participated.
You said never. That just sounds like real harsh and strong.
I mean,
like,
it's the harsh truth. The truth is usually harsh. You know what I'm saying? The truth is usually harsh. And no matter how many times I tried to blame somebody else, Spirit always reminded me about my participation in that thing. So whether it's being a spiritual person, whether it's understanding that I'm a soul, just having a human experience, whether it's discovering and fine-tuning and finding out all of these beautiful things, right? At the end of the day, you still have to sit with yourself. At the end of the day, you still have to be the person to get up in the morning and do whatever it is that you're responsible for doing. So the way that I always looked at it was, if I wake up in the morning and I don't like the person that I see in that mirror, then it's either my job to either break the mirror or fix the person looking at it.
Dope.
So as far as I'm concerned, blame is just another thing that falls under competition, right? It falls under the counting excerpts that people like to do. People like to count. So if I wasn't going to blame myself, then I wasn't going to blame anybody else. But it took me a long time to get there.
Amen. That's heavy, man. You want to go, Jeff? You want me to go? You want me to tackle that?
Y'all, the Prime and Jeff don't take responsibility. They more or less like me, still blaming the white man. So next question.
I got. I throw my stuff.
I think Jeff blames NASA.
So for me, I'm someone who who in moments where I've been down and out, I don't like being down and out. And the only way for me to fix that is for me to start, acting for myself and not blaming everybody. It's blaming other people has I've noticed that in those moments where I feel the need to blame other people, I'm usually sitting on my butt, not doing nothing for myself. So I've just kind of had those moments where I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, Jeff, what are you doing? Is what the outcome you're looking for, wherever it is you're trying to be? Are you going to get there by pointing the finger and looking at other people and wanting to just curse people or curse the world or whatever? Or are you going to do something about the situation you're in, fix it yourself? Because there's no one else out here to save you. You have to know what you need. You got to go out there, figure out how to get to where it is you can be. So yeah, just from having time, of just sitting on my butt, not being where I need to be, this what's gonna happen if I keep doing this. I'm in the same place, so I'm probably actually gonna be worse off. So focus really for where you're at and do something about it. And if you need to ask for help, but do what you gotta do.
Dope. For me, it's the thing that prompted me to not blaming others is my bad temper, which I'm still trying to how do I say this? Not control it. I'm just trying to let it dissolve, right? Sometimes I can go from 0 to 100,
Yeah, because I heard you got a pimp hand.
I don't know who told you that.
My bad. I let the cat out the bag. My bad. I'm sorry.
But, I would say that learning martial arts helped me learn restraint. And I didn't realize that, I was using it for me. I was looking at it from the point of view of, okay, I'm learning this stuff I know I'm not going to go out here and use it on the average Joe. So it gives me a few seconds to pause and breathe before I respond or react. Because I'm thinking, okay, I can do this, this, and that to you, but I don't want to do that because I ain't trying to go to jail for hurting you. So, but all that time, I was still looking at it as somebody outside of me being the cause of my misery, or, you know, a challenge, right? But there's a saying, at least in Wing Chun, and I know in some other martial arts, that the enemy is within. And it took me a while to actually realize that. And I think the turnaround started when, instead of me being in situations and focusing outside of me saying, I don't want to hurt this person, but they're really pissing me off, such and such and such and such, right? Or trying to control people. At some point, I started looking in. And it was probably through various people in my life calling me out, whether it was family or friends, saying, why'd you do that? Or such and such, or, you know, retrospect on my actions. But when I started looking within, then I realized that that is really where the enemy is. So when I got in situations from, like, say, my late 20s to today, and it's, you know, my temper steadily has been dissolving. When I got in situations, it's like, now I start thinking, all right, what did I do to get myself in this situation? Why is this person yelling at me? What could I have done differently to make sure that, you know, maybe tomorrow this person won't be so upset at me? Can I walk away? You know, I start taking the matter into my own hands. Like, what can I do in a positive manner to change the situation that I'm in now? Because it's up to me to feel good. I can't ask someone to feel good for me, just like I can't ask someone to eat an apple and then tell me what it tastes like. You know what it tastes like to you, but I can't taste it if you chewing it, right? So I had to taste my own apple and say, okay, if I want to feel good, I can't get into it with this person. If I want to live another day, you know, I need to walk away. And when I started making decisions like that, where I was respecting my life or respecting my code of ethics, respecting my time, when I started respecting myself, then that's when I started noticing that the enemy really was within. Like Serpent said, you're going to break the mirror or fix the person, right? Ain't no need in breaking the mirror just showing you your reflection. Mm-hmm. So my world around me was showing me my reflection, and I realized, all right, I got to work on this. And I got to say, I'm, old am I? What's this, 2021? I'm 50 years old. So for the past, let's say 25 years, I've been steadily whittling down my temper, trying to replace it with humor and other things. Shameless plug. After that shadow work course, I've been accelerating in terms of being able to, yes. It ain't showing good because of the background. There you go. After that,
take the book off the highway. Take the book off the highway, please. That book does not belong on the highway, please.
But after that course, it's been an acceleration. Like, you know, the chakra work, the energy work, the martial arts, the kung fu, all of that was great. But sometimes it just built up extra energy within me that I didn't really know what to do with. But I really didn't know what to do with it because I wasn't really looking at myself honestly. But with that shadow work and starting to look at myself honestly, it helped me to turn within even faster. Now I feel like I'm growing leaps and bounds. Stuff that would normally piss me off, I'm finding more jokes for, finding more room, being able to take a pause and say, how can I look at this another way?
You ever see how like mad people always like they always stink? Like they stink and they mad at the same time. Like, it's my fault why they ain't took a shower or nothing like that. Yeah. Like, yeah, you hop your ass in that bath water. Yeah, wash that shit up off you. You know, because I tell you, doing the shadow work has brought me to so many revelations about me fucking up that it's just like wow, big wow energy. Yeah, I can't do nothing but grow and be a better person and not be a big wow type of energy. So yeah, I really appreciate your inputs on that, because you know, I think in real life right now, people watching this video still blaming their baby daddy off of everything that we just said, but I digress. No, dudes blaming their baby mama still because we don't know their baby mama in their specific situation. They gotta blame they baby mama and they baby daddy and they kids for their life, for their mom or their dad. And man, Individuation by Carl Jung, but I digress. I was at the UPS today, guys, and this beautiful young lady, man, she was staring me down too. She was staring at me, wanting to say something to me. She didn't say nothing, I left, but I had to come back. And then her older coworker was like, "Hey, boy, come here." Where is that?
She ain't call you a boy.
She didn't call me a boy.
She did.
She gave me boy.
Not in 2021.
She gave me hey boy energy.
Boy.
She gave me hey boy energy. I'm not gonna lie. She looked like
come here, boy.
What's that in WandaVision? Her neighbor. She was giving me her vibes.
Wow.
She just gave me the white witch vibes. But anyway, I digress. She's like, "Yeah, what kind of stone is that? That's a nice stone you got." I'm like, "It's an amethyst." She like, "Kayla over here, my young black friend, she was too afraid to ask you what stone you had on your necklace." I said, "Oh, Kayla," and it stuck with me to me sharing that experience with y'all, because all of the love and light work that I do, all of the things that I do within the community, and I said this on a couple of episodes of how like I really care about motherfuckers. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I talk to y'all like that and call y'all motherfuckers, because y'all be out here fucking these moms, and I know
we care about you too, motherfucker.
But you know, but I say all of that to say I'm sincere in the work that I do. So generally, people will fuck with you and try to figure out a sinister approach about you because they do not trust you, but they interested and intrigued about you, right? That's a weird dichotomy, because you could just be walking in the UPS living your best life or trying to live your best life, and you might feel that a person is interested in you but scared shitless of your masculine energy. So I understand that men take advantage of situations because they have masculine energy, and I'm trying to figure out the conversation that I can have with y'all and other men throughout my life of being accountable. Like, I don't want no man to make a woman feel uncomfortable. Right? I don't want no man to take advantage of another woman. I don't want you to be alone with another woman unless that's your wife, unless that's your daughter, unless that's your mama, unless that's your sister. Other than that, don't be alone with her, because what can happen after that, you not ready for. Nobody told me that as a young man. So I would go into situations never knowing that I was a young king. I was trying to get some pussy, y'all. And nobody held me accountable and said, you know what? Even if she gonna give you some pussy, you shouldn't take it. If she lay here, wide eagle, squirting, talking about daddy, come take me, you say, no, nope, I don't want that. I want to have a conversation with you. Now, I'm saying that to y'all because that's just my truth. And as men, I don't expect you to be like, yes, Kyrie, I agree with you. I want something to be like, no, we need to be taking these women to the 10th floor and you should be joining us. And I'm just like, okay, give me the statistics. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. But yes, how do you as a man hold other men accountable, or do you just let men do they thug thistle and not say shit?
I got a good example. Let me not name names. And it ain't me for you starting on me, but a very good friend, right? He is Ogun to the core, and righteous, like a righteous brother, right? Wherever he was in this particular day, some dude was having an argument with his lady out in public, okay? And then started hitting on her. Like, I don't mean hitting like holla holla, I mean hitting like fist and face. So this friend jumped in between them and started, fighting the dude back, trying to protect the woman. Now, he got beat up, and in the end, she still ended up, leaving. I gotta ask him, was it with the dude, or did they go their separate ways? But I have a feeling she probably.
I guarantee you, she went with the dude who was kicking ass. But I digress.
So, but I think we had a talk about that later in the years, and he said basically, I think he kind of learned his lesson. Like, he ain't gonna be jumping in the middle of stuff, right? So I think there's a spectrum here. Okay, we cannot live another man's life for them, and we definitely can't live a woman's life for her. So I think the best way that we can do it and stay safe is to lead by example, right? Anytime you're with a woman, and no matter where you are, especially as a black man, even if you don't identify as a black man, but if your skin is melanated and you walk in with a woman, I guarantee you it's people peeping out how you acting, what you doing, what you saying, how you walking. They peeping everything. Like one of my teachers used to say, we're the most feared yet most respected people on the planet, black men. I mean, he didn't mean respected. Like, we know we get dissed by a lot of people, but everybody fears us. What Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be a nigga, nobody want to be a nigga. That's what Paul Mooney said. So anytime we're with a woman, there's eyes on us. And then how we treat that woman, how we speak with that woman, how we, interact, right, makes a difference. So I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna leave it to the rest of the panel. I think the best thing that we could do as men to hold other men accountable in being spiritual around our sisters is to stand up straight. Just stand up straight. Like, check your posture, because if you like feeling like, oh, I gotta hit that, it's gonna show in your body language. If you feeling like, oh man, I just want to do such and such, it's gonna show in your body language, right? But if you stand up straight and keep the conversation at head level, then people are around you, they're gonna see that, and it's gonna impact them, and they're gonna think, man, if this brother can talk to this sister like that, maybe I can too. Okay, it doesn't mean that you got to be celibate. It doesn't mean that you can't spark a conversation that's more intimate with that person later. But all I'm saying is when you in public with somebody, and even in private, if y'all ain't kicking it, like if y'all ain't married or got an established relationship, and you should still do the damn thing. Keep the conversation at eye level. I'm gonna end it there.
Yeah, just to build off what he said, I think like his point of just being that example was like it's key for sure. This day and age, it's like it's really all you can be. Like you can do what you know is right, for self and showcase that and be that. But I think to the story you tell, I feel like I may have mentioned it the other week about folks who I know.
Oh yeah.
We're in a similar situation. It's like, somebody was.
Don't name no names.
Yeah, sure. A woman asking me to kind of like what to do about it. But to your point, like I knew she was gonna go right back. So like, and it's not like I'm afraid to step in and and
Right.
Especially when I know I can do that situation. But
Yeah, but how many days do you be fighting?
It's a new day and age, and guys don't like to fight these days. They carrying things, so not even worth trying to prove any points or nothing. So just be that example, let things work out how they work. Because once a woman or whomever a person is, once they kind of see how you are, and they feel like that presence and see how they treat it when they're around you. It's it's hard for them to kind of accept anything less than that. They know they're going backwards, so they're gonna start expecting that moving forward. So that's really the best way I think to do it. Just like you said, just be that example. Do what you know is right. Everybody's gonna see that, and they're gonna either want that for themselves. They are gonna want that for themselves. So they're gonna try to find or have somebody that can match that energy. Nobody wants to go backwards.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the answer to this question for me is the reason why I really don't have any friends. Yeah, I'm not only like this on camera, I'm really overbearing off of camera. And I just can't get with the conversations, right? I can't get with the conversations with a bunch of dudes when they just be talking about brothers. I can't rock with it. I never have been able to rock with it. Just talking about random broads and random things that they do with random broads and, all of these different plethora of broads that they deal with and this, that, and the other. I never rocked with that. Now, don't get me wrong. I've fiddled and diddled a little bit in my day. But I'm not.
You ain't hit him with the fiddle diddles.
Yeah, I'm not proud of none of that shit.
You hit him with the fiddle diddle.
I have, the fiddle diddle. Yeah, I'm not proud of none of it. And I know once I got to this spiritual part of my life, I understood that there was a responsibility that I had. And this spiritual work comes with the responsibility. The knowledge and the wisdom comes with the responsibility, right? So if I can't, like these two brothers said before me, if I can't exemplify that thing that I'm talking about being, right? If I can't walk it like I talk it, right? Everything else falls by the wayside. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to holding somebody accountable, when it comes to holding other men accountable, right? The idea that comes to my mind is you can't talk like that around me. Because the way I view every female, there is a level of my divine feminine that I see in every female. Just like in every male, I see a level of my divine masculine.
Yep.
You understand? I have 2 girls, right? So if the idea is for you to just get as much as you can for some dudes, you know what I'm saying, and just throw them by the wayside and jump on to the next one, that's not okay for me. You know what I'm saying? I would rather a female feel like I don't like her than for me to be alone with her on a first date and me just trying to smash. I would rather her think I don't like her.
Yeah, hold on, man. Say that again.
Literally, I would rather her believe I don't like her rather than me be with her on the first date and smash. There's no respect for that. Because if I'm already getting to the top of the mountain on the first day, why do I need to explore the rest of the mountain? How am I going to enjoy the rest of the landscape, bro? You understand? I'm into verbal and mental intercourse. I'm not even into physical intercourse at this point. Because I need to see what that mind look like, right? So as far as holding other men accountable, when you exemplify a certain type of thing, certain men just can't be around you. Yeah. Certain people just can't be around you because your vibration is just on another peak, and they just can't. They can't fathom that. So the understanding for me is if I'm going to exemplify a thing, then I'm not going to allow anything that's outside of that thing to come into my space. And if you my man, like you say, you my man, then you can't talk like that around me. You can't get away with that around me. And ain't none of that going to fly because I'm not beat for that. I'm just not beat for that. I was raised by a woman. I'm just not beat for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is not to say that women ain't, don't do what they do, but this is not the conversation we have. And the conversation we having is about holding other men accountable, right? Because this theme that's going on right now is that men really want to hold women accountable.
Hey, talk about it, Serpent. Talk about that shit, man. Bro. Talk about that shit.
Like, you need your Kevin Samuels. You already lost your Derek Jacksons. You had Steve Harvey. Like, all of you just really want to hold a woman accountable. Like, this is a cheering squad thing, right? But you weren't able to hold that individual accountable when you were with them. You don't get to retroactively go back and then hold them accountable. Like, the reality is the reality, man. You did what you did too. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like dudes and women, but it's just like dudes to be like, oh, she did this to me and she did that to me. Word. Word. Like, I'm just not beat for the silly stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever issues y'all got with this competition expose y'all got going on, men versus women and women versus men, I'm not beat for it. Y'all keep me out of it. This purple pill over here.
Purple.
I'm not beat for it. So as far as I'm concerned, you exemplify that thing that you're talking about. Walk it like you're talking. And if you're going to be that, then be that. Be it. That's not Monday through Wednesday and take off Thursday and Friday and then moonlight Saturday. No, that's every day of the week. That's every second of every day. That's every day you wake up.
Yeah.
Period.
Not just in church.
Y'all gonna have to excuse me. My wife cooked some vegan tacos, and I could have swore she put some meat in them. And one of them things just hit. Ooh, man. Let me, man. Y'all have no idea. I'm in a whole nother world thanks to my wife.
Do that thing, man. Shit.
But speaking of conversations with women outside of sex, back to like Serpent's point, where the reason why I feel like we should hold men accountable is because, I mean, at least in my circle, at least in my like org field, we not going to talk about smacking on chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a woman is not your sexual tool for sexual pleasure, whether you know it or not. She can be a complete vessel.
She don't need you for that.
She don't even need you for that.
She don't even want you for that.
That is number one. She don't even need you for that.
Like, even if she wants you as like a provider or something like that, in reference to protection and stuff like that shit gets me hard. Like, to be the dominant, not dominant in a negative way, but baby, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That makes me feel good that I'm able to do that for my wife because I genuinely love her. Now, me and my wife, we discuss so many different things outside of sex. We talk about sex too, but we're married. But in reference to having a relationship with, at this point, hundreds of women, I know many different things to talk about with women outside of sex. Yes. But do you fellas, can y'all give the fellas and women out there who maybe have sons or brothers some conversations to have with women outside of sex that are not like, hey, what's your favorite color? But engaging, thought-provoking conversations that you either had or want to have with the opposite sex outside of just sex. Because as Serpent was saying, as much as we talking about these conversations, it might be like a fantasy to most women, believe it or not, because the majority of men is going to come to women with their dick out. So to separate, and that's an internal, primal feeling that a man has that he may not even be aware of. But to be aware or to be conscious, because if you look up the etymology or definition of consciousness. It just means awareness. To be a man aware of your sexual energy, you just don't start humping the air. You start to develop intimate conversations with a woman outside of just visceral sexual conversations. But for y'all, is what I'm saying far-fetched? Or is there some things and conversations that y'all have had with women that can help the family out and maybe give them some tips on how they can spark a conversation up with a divine feminine without their dick in their hands? And no pun intended.
Maybe ask her what inspires her. Maybe ask her what are her goals outside of materialism. Maybe ask her, where does she see her life going in the next 10 to 15, maybe 20 years? Has she envisioned that thing? Maybe ask her, what is her favorite book? Who is her favorite writer? Who's her favorite artist? Outside of Hoochie Mama Rap and WAP, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe ask her what turns her on mentally. I'm just saying.
Oh man, dope. I like a lot of the women that I speak
yes, WAP is a bop. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
yes,
good,
hood, WAP is a bop. Yes.
I like hearing sisters' opinions on community building, right? Like, I don't know what to call it, like a village mentality, you know. I like to hear how they would make the world better. You know, whether it's by people, whether it's by industrial processes, whether it's by recycling or doing, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I'm interested in how people want to improve this condition, right? And how they do it. Not just what they want to do, but how they do it, right? Because you can tell a lot about a person, you know, when you ask these type of questions, and anything dealing with nature.
Community, I ain't about to do shit for the community. The community can kiss my ass. They can tell you a whole lot about sis real quick. You're like, okay.
Yeah, like, bye.
Bye, Bertha.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff.
That's on you, bro.
I know I was trying to turn some lights on. It's getting dark. I mean, for me, it's really just.
And Jeff, before you get to cooking, these brothers really did seem like they didn't have much to say outside of sex. So I'm hoping that you send these boys home, because them was the shortest answers in the history of answers. But I digress. Jeff.
Oh my goodness!
Because you got
now we're being judged by length. We're in another stratosphere right now. We're being judged by length now. This is another stratosphere.
Ow, that's tough because I'll start like this.
I mean, I could add to mine if you want to.
I could add to.
I could add to mine if you want.
You got to pause and hear what she says before you add on, man.
Brown, we're gonna get docked after this.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
I got a big magic bag.
They gotta add to the conversation for the family. I'll digress.
Right. No, I feel it. But it starts with like being like genuinely curious, like actually trying to understand. First, of course, it starts with like being curious about yourself and like the world, the universe, all that. But like when you like meet a woman, like are you actually truly interested in who she is, what she has to offer? I think like if you start from a genuine place of actually being curious and like wanting to know, more, wanting to learn somebody, then it's like it isn't necessarily about asking a specific type of question or what it is you ask. It's like you're gonna get to know somebody more than just like being like just what their sexuality, their sexual beingness. Again, that is important.
Yeah.
It's not important. But yeah, it's like do you really care? And if you really care, like you're gonna figure out, like, like you're gonna ask about her friend who she talks about, like her that's a close relationship. Maybe you really want to, like, know about that relationship that means a lot to her. If she's, what to what Ross said, like the first question that he mentioned, like what inspires her, like what are her goals, like what does she want to do, and if she has, like, a dream, like does she feel as though she's actually on the path to fulfilling where she wants to be, and if not, like how can y'all work towards supporting each other, to make sure, like, you can get her to where she wants to be.
That's dope. Yeah.
At the same time, making sure, like, she's has something offered for you as well. Like, how can we have a mutual beneficial relationship? So once you, like, genuinely find that curiosity, just like within yourself, like it should kind of bleed out to everything else that you're doing. Like, you should want to get to know the woman around you, whether it's it's someone that you are looking to have some type of partnership relationship with, or if it's just like any woman out that you kind of come across. It shows in all your relationships with everyone. So yeah, just be genuinely curious, and you'll learn a lot a lot of interesting things about here.
But when you started talking, it made me start to think about how, like, when I was in a negative space mentally or emotionally, how I attracted people who were in a negative space mentally or emotionally. So that kind of threw me off in life, where I'm like, damn, everybody is fucking crazy, right? But really, I'm the crazy one. Like,
don't break the mirror.
Like, I'm the crazy one, right? Because it's my filter for what I'm looking at. And it's like, yeah, if I'm crazy and I'm hurt, I'm just thinking a piece of wet pussy is going to soothe and ease all of my pain and heartache. When in reality, I need way much more than that sloppy toppy. And although it might be good to experience in reference to my pain, I'm only trying to heal that, right? And I think intuitively, I think human beings know that sex is a healing apparatus. That's why we're on Pornhub, X videos, X hamsters, at Tatalicious house, trying to see what's up for the night.
Nobody at Tatalicious house. You better stop.
At the strip club.
Okay, at the strip.
Tatalicious. They renamed the strip club.
They at her job. They at her job, but they not at her house.
She is a professional, man.
She is a healer. She is a healer.
She is a healer. She is a divine whore. She is a healer.
Right. But I think it's hard to have conversations outside of sex when you want to be healed. Now, I say all of what I said to say of what Jeff Whitty brought up was that once I healed myself, once I started to do this shit, then I naturally had the gentleness and the softness to say, put that pussy in your panties. We're having a conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had that within myself to say, I see the cat purring and like meowing out the leggings, but I'm trying to have a deeper conversation. So, but it's interesting too, is that you don't even get into them situations until you healed. And the case of healing is to test you, but to test is to be like, nom, 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 like you failed, and now you're going somewhere else. So it's like, it's an interesting, yeah, no pass go, right? But yeah, interesting things. But y'all add to this, Prime Serpent, be sure to add to this conversation, because I think that we need to have more input and more fleshed out understandings of what we can talk about. But ultimately, how do we get to a point where we can have these conversations? Because I think a lot of men feel like they can't even get past sex because they haven't healed that part of themselves, right? Because men are scarred and traumatized sexually because they have sex redundantly or masturbate. Right. So they're empty and hurt, right? Because sex is a space of healing and nurturing and spiritual connection and ancestry and magic.
Validation.
Right? And you fucking getting a hot one off to goddamn hot moms with you know, with milk.
Hot moms with midgets.
Yeah.
No matter what you in that with.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's gonna be nasty.
Midgets.com. No, I was gonna add to that. See, I'm different from a lot of people in that I actually like to but I like to hear about people's traumas. And I want to hear about her trauma, and I want to know if she knows.
That's a very important part of the build.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to know if she knows that her trauma is not her fault, and I want to know if she knows what her soul is. If she's never made contact with her soul, I want to know if she's ever contemplated anything higher than herself, anything higher than this external reality.
That's too deep, Serpent. That's a deep ass conversation. You should frame that and sell that as an NFT.
Here we go.
NFT.
You told me to add to it. Like, I mean, like. So, but nah, seriously, like, it's not that I like to hear about people's trauma, but I like to hear the way they portray it and how they view themselves in light of their trauma.
Yep.
And have you ever looked at yourself as anything other than, you know, just a good looking woman? Right? Have you looked at yourself as anything other than just like a physical being? You know, like, do you care about spirit? Do you care about things that come from you that are more important than the things that you're doing right now? Like, do you care about those things? You know, and quite honestly, like, how long can you go without needing to have sex? You know, like I would like to know, because I said this to the brothers earlier in our private chat. Like, you know, you can't negotiate desire, right? So I would like to know what your desires are outside of a sexual peak or outside of a sexual fulfillment that you might be searching for. Like, do you have anything else that can fulfill you outside of sex?
So,
because she can talk to you straight face and know damn well she need 14 inches and you working with a good 7 inches strong, right? And ain't gonna work, but y'all sitting there, you taking her out to eat. Where did I go? I went somewhere.
Talking about? Are you playing geometry over there? Like, what's going on?
It's
Check the chat, man. Something's going on in the chat.
Mathematics.
Go ahead, player. Go ahead.
So, I'm gonna tell you from my point of view, man. One thing that's always intrigued me, and you know, I'm into movement, martial arts, dance, whatever, right? Like, to me, body language is key. Like, I put about 80% of stock on what people are doing with their body and about 20% of what's coming out their mouth. And I love to see women doing what they do, like, especially if they're in a position where they're, you know, I don't know. For example, this place, I used to hang out at the Chili's when I used to live in an apartment, and one of the bartenders there, I could just watch her because she would be like back and forth, flipping bottles, taking orders, and everything seemed like this seamless movement, right? And I could tell when she was flowing and in the zone. So like movement, music, right? I like to have conversations, especially about music. You know, if our musical tastes aren't in alignment, then that's going to cut out a lot of the time that I could spend with somebody.
Imagine kicking it with Prime and she like, Prime, cut on that WAP, play that new Cardi.
I'm like, bye. There's the door. There's the door. Oh man, I'm playing like old school reggae, you know, classical. Even sometimes I got my jazz. I love my, you know, John Coltrane, Lionel Hampton. You know what I'm saying? Or playing
no
some
Cardi B.
Nah. Nah. I got that Mooma Fresh, some Sa Rock. You know what I'm saying?
What? Wait a minute. I love Sa Rock. I love Sa Rock. Shout out to Sa Rock.
Sa Rock is my version of Cardi B while y'all talking.
Yo, if y'all ever want to see me wilding out, if I ever saw her,
that is
he's talking about mentally, man. Mentally.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Yeah.
Mind sex.
I would straight geek out if I ever got to meet her. I know that.
Yeah,
I'd be like speechless.
I would take Cyrock home. I would push Cardi B off a cliff.
Now, short cliff. Okay,
I'm sorry. A short cliff. She's only gonna get a bruise or two. But
y'all will not disrespect. It's like I'm very tolerant, but y'all will not disrespect.
No, she's doing good.
The queen of WAP.
Thing for some people.
The queen of what?
The queen of WAP.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Run DMC is the queen of rock. Cardi B is the queen of king of rock.
And she the queen of
Cardi
WAP.
B is the queen of WAP.
And her partner's the king of WAP.
No, he's the king of.
I'm sorry.
King of off. He's the king of off.
Yeah.
So, poetry, man. Poetry. Even if it's street poetry, street poems, right? I like to see things that's out the norm. So that's the kind of things I ask about, or I'd be curious to see what's going on in her life, right? Like I don't know where I saw this, but like somebody was saying the museum is free. Like growing up in DC, man, when I was hanging out with girls, we would hit up downtown DC and hit up the museums, go to the African, art museum, Air and Space, and just be learning stuff or checking stuff out. Like I want to see, is your mind expandable? That's my thing. So my conversations are going to be aimed at stuff like that. Like, what do you think about this? What kind? I just, it's like what Jeff said. If you really are interested in a person, then you will listen to that person, and that listening to that person will prompt your next conversation line, because it's going to be natural. It's just going to happen. And then if she say, all right, now take me to McDonald's so I can get my baby, I mean, no, sure, I'm sorry. But we could hit up this new vegan. They got some stuff that tastes good.
She either wants you to take you to McDonald's or take you
I'm
to the
saying,
king.
Man, that was rough for me. When I was becoming a vegetarian, man, I didn't want to kiss no sausage breath,
That can go many different ways, but we'll keep it on track.
No. That was horrible.
No, that could have went somewhere.
That transition was like,
that could have went somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know where that was going. I had things in my mind.
I see a flagpole coming out the grass right now.
I'm just happy that I didn't say what was on my mind, and we can move on.
I'm happy you didn't say what was on your mind.
No, move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on. In life, I think a larger concept of like being spiritual and on this spiritual journey, some real shit about this thing is that, y'all could argue with me if y'all want to, but for me, it's all about partnership. It's about staring at somebody dead in the face every day and saying, I'm not going to watch porn all day today. You know what? Because you right here. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I'm not going to spend all my money on Tatalicious, because you right here. I'm gonna be a better man than I was yesterday because you right there. Generally, my wife can go to the store and I'm like, damn, like, oh shit, she'd be right back. Let me that type of deal. So it's just like, I know that I ain't shit as a person, as an individual.
Wait a minute.
What
just happened there?
I am who I am because my wife is the healer of my life. She's the portal and the gateway for me to be a better person. And I understand if people don't understand that. I understand even if you got a chick and she fine and you tear her out the frame at the hotel. I get it. But what I'm saying is, you serve yourself much better to say, you know what? Let's catch a matinee. Let's walk in a nature park. Let's go to a mound. Let's go to a museum. Let's go to a festival. It's the summer. They're gonna lock us down soon. Our days is numbered. Let's
go watch Tatalicious together.
Let's go watch Tatalicious together. Now, what if she say, let's go watch Snickers together? You down?
I know.
You gotta put Tatalicious and Snickers in the same bar together. Okay. If we go see Snickers, then we going to see Tata right after. Okay.
We gotta balance this thing out.
Yeah, that's right, man.
We gotta balance this thing out. Listen, I will
Mr.
go with you
Snickers
and watch the guy in the
Show.
cowboy hat, right? I will go with you to watch the dude with the 6-pack and the cowboy hat. Just because I got a 13-pack doesn't mean I'm jealous, okay?
Yeah.
But we going to see Tata Delicious right
I got a
after.
1-pack. Damn.
We are going to see Tata right after, okay?
And I'm gonna tell y'all, brothers, man, it's not easy loving a woman every day. It's not an easy thing, but it's something that I've learned was a necessary part of my evolution as a human being.
Does it get
To
better
be
with
a-
reps?
Does it
get better with reps?
It's not better. It's not necessarily better or worse. It's the fact that I have to integrate my mind to never run, right? Because my instinct is problem, issue, run. And so when I'm processing negative situations and circumstances in my mind, I'm doing the calculations and measurements to say, should I leave or should I stay? Fight or flight, right?
I'm so grateful that you said that because I thought I was the only one that felt like
Oh no, it's fight or flight. It's the unactivated sacral chakra, right? And I think a lot of people do it when they love somebody. Now, the thing that I say is hard is because my wife can leave me, right? I'm not a perfect person.
Yeah.
And I can make this commitment and she can say that commitment can blow me, right? And I have to figure that part out. So all of this to say that I've been on this spiritual journey and my wife was given to me. My children were given to me. My career was given to me. My life was a gift because I made a decision to be faithful and true to a woman. I know that, bro. Fuck everything. The moment I say, you know what? I'm about to get me some pussy on the side because it's available. It's over with for me, fam.
Yeah. It's done.
Yeah.
I
And
stand.
it's not even about you cheating. It's about the idea that you felt the need to go and do it unnecessarily, right?
Right, for no reason. It's like me going to rob a bank. And then y'all like, damn, what happened? I needed a thrill.
Yeah.
I needed a thrill.
Yeah, like I thought you was good, player. Like,
Yeah, like why is you out here robbing banks? The hood mystic.
why you got on the ski mask?
Yeah,
Like
feel
I've never seen this part of you.
This is a different side of you, you know?
Shut up and give me a wallet.
Yeah.
Reginald, is that you?
Don't say my name, fool. No, but it's a real thing. I feel like spiritual men, we owe it to our community to hold down whatever divine feminine will accept us to be a man that's willing to grow into his divine masculine shit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because
I can appreciate
you
that.
may not find somebody who is going to support you in your growth. Like, I'm a nigga that snores. I'm a nigga that had to learn how to love himself.
I drool.
I do the most. I do the most. And my wife is so sweet and so supportive to the fact that I'm allowed to grow with her, right? And I know that you could be with a woman today and she won't allow you to grow. She'll be like, how much money you got? How big is your dick? How many clothes do you have? Can you take me out? Can you buy me nice things?
Why are you on the sofa right now?
Why is this? Why is this? Why is that?
This done.
Now, you need a woman to say, regardless of your circumstance, divinely, spiritually, I am yours, and I will cultivate your growth. But see, the thing of that, the problem of that is going to be, a woman is going to say, I tried that and it didn't work and I'll never do it again. And this is why I have to have this and that and this and that and this and that. So as a spiritual man and as a physical man, do you guys see the difference? And then how could y'all give some tips and tricks to the men and women to differentiate either A, how you become a spiritual man if that's your desire, and B, how do women, if you desire a spiritual man, how do you differentiate him between the young pharaohs of the world and the hoteps of the world who just doing it for clout and they not really trying to cultivate a divine masculine and feminine spiritual Atlantean bond that is going to bring the ancestors together, your ancestors, her ancestors, and cure. That's the curing generational curse, is through your children. giving them proper knowledge, telling them not to consume cow milk, consume food every day, teaching your children how to meditate, teaching your children how to elevate, being a strong man for your mom, right? So all of these things is how you reverse the generational curse. If you think that a big pile of money is going to reverse a curse, we been had money, fam. And that should never helped us or healed us, okay? What heals black men and black women? I tell you right now, and I stand on this shit. And if anybody want to argue, and if anybody want to differentiate against it, I'm open to that. But we need to learn how to relate to each other intimately without thinking that it's a sexual thing. We got ancestors rooting on us. We got our descendancy rooting on us, championing us to come together. And if we can't put our dick in our pants, if we can't put our pennies in our pussy, or reverse that, you know what I'm saying? Your pussy and your panties, right? And learn to have these dialogues without A, being afraid, and B, being thirsty McGurts out here.
Yep.
And hold that space. I really hope that the men
Thirsty McGursty is a real nigga. That's
a real guy. I hope the men listen to this channel can hold space with divine feminine energy and give them a safe space that they can flourish. And I hope that the women on this channel can provide a safe space for the men so they can flourish into their spiritual birthrights and their spiritual lineage, because that's what's happened for me, right? So my question to y'all is, how do y'all, in the world where everybody is just kind of not on the shit that we're talking about, how can y'all help and assist people in differentiating the two?
I think you hit on a serious key with something you just said, so I'm going to expand on that as one way. So the most basic thing I'm going to say is do the chakra work. Do the chakra work and do the shadow work. Get to know your body, get to know your energetic centers, because when you don't know your energetic centers, or you are traumatized around some of them and not trying to heal them, then you're going to attract similar. But if you're doing the work to get to know yourself and try to heal yourself, you're going to attract similar, right? So I'm going to say it from a sacral chakra point of view, the key that you hit on, Hood, pleasure. Learn how to be in a pleasurable situation without whipping your joint out, man or woman, right? If you can be in a pleasurable situation, and then instead of just feeling that energy around the groin, allow that energy to spread throughout the body and just flow. Like a lot of people, when they start feeling that pleasure, they keep it in that center. They keep it in the sacral area behind the belly button and a little below, right? So this is just a practical tip. If you're in a situation and you're around a pretty woman or a handsome man and you feeling, sexually energized, let it flow throughout your whole body and just relax and let it go back to the earth. Do it like breathing, right? And you'll see that as you learn to allow yourself to be in the mode of pleasure while you're with people without having to be sexual about it, you'll find that your energy will increase, your spirit will increase, and you're going to attract more spiritual people. But what also happens is when you get in tune with yourself, then you also know who's faking, because anybody that's coming around you trying to get the draws, you'll be able to sense, oh, you're not about my total pleasure, you just about my genital pleasure, because I don't feel that everywhere.
That connection.
Right? Yep.
To build off that, is like, first to Pron's point, it is definitely about like doing the work. Like, are you really doing the chakra work? Are you actually really doing the shadow work? Like folks who are really doing that work, they you start to feel other folks' energy. Like, you know why they're showing up in your space. You build a level of discernment.
And Jeff, when you say feel their energy, are you saying virtually?
Whoa.
Or are you saying, are you really feeling it?
Whoa.
I mean, you just
come on with it.
You have a better understanding of what somebody's, like what they're not showing, per se. You're able to just get, able to, like see kind of what,
You feel the vibe.
Is
you
that
feel the vibe.
to help you out, Jeff? Is your ancestors is not going to let you fall out here in these streets, and you might not know it. You might be thinking like this is a good thing, but your ancestors like, nah, fam, we ain't gonna do that, and you just
feel that tug,
feel that energy.
Yeah,
it's real. All I was just trying to say is that it's real. It's not fake. That energy you feel and that vibe is real.
It can't be manufactured. So.
Yeah.
True, it could be subconscious.
I was
Sorry,
telling
Jeff.
Nah, you all good. I was telling a story today. It was just like, something that like a possible very cool situation could have occurred, but something blocked it. And then it's just like, you know what? After you look at it, it's like, thank God, like they got blocked, because like you said, energy is real. Like you can already see what's going to happen, and if you actually focus and if you actually doing the work, you like you ain't need that. You didn't need that. It's that there are people who are out here, folk who are doing the work, who are like speaking to something and not trying to force their way of thinking on others, and not trying to force a certain narrative, rather than actually out here kind of exploring and really trying to figure things out sincerely and genuinely. And that's kind of that's how I discern as far as who to trust out here. It's like, are they trying to force me to follow a narrative that they feel, whether out of fear or because they want to use their energy to manipulate me, or are they actually out here really trying to figure this stuff out, for themselves, but for the collective? Like, are they actually really trying to do this? That yeah. And it can be confusing out here, but like, the example of like the young pharaohs out here, even just the main guys like the Kevin Samuels, all that. Are they forcing a narrative down, a woman's necks, or men, or just about